Hi, it's Noah Nerd again, and doing a second in my dev vlog about Nexus Necronomicon, which is a H.P. Lovecraft inspired dark sci-fi something or other game I'm making at the minute. So I think I mentioned in the first vlog that so the Necronomicon is basically a sort of fictional grimoire, as it were, from what I understand, in the sort of occult world. It's inspired. So the Necronomicon is a concept of a black magic book. Turns up in a lot of H.P. Lovecraft's stories, and I wanted to do something that was ostensibly on some level influenced or inspired by that. So to that end, I've actually purchased. There's several versions of the Necronomicon that are out there. But I think from the research I've been able to do, the most popular version is the assignment Necronomicon, which is here. I've got a copy of it off Amazon, which arrived last week. I've not really looked into it much, but so basically, in terms of like the actual game development, I've also got this, which I'm going to be using somewhat for research purposes. Even though it's weird though, even though it's like this is it's a fictional, it's a creation of fiction really. I do sort of like feel like almost respectful of it. I mean, we're going to try and do any of the rituals in here anyway, certainly, but I'll just read the back and then I'll just talk further about how, you know, I still haven't decided fully how I'm going to integrate parts of the book, you know, into the story, because it's going to be a separate thing, but also, you know, take elements from it. So anyway, I'll read the synopsis on the back for the actual book. H.P. Lovecraft himself denied the book's existence, but the dreaded Necronomicon has finally surfaced. Written in Damascus in the 8th century AD by the mad Arab Abdul al-Zahad, the accursed volume is filled with myths and rituals that survived the darkest days of magic and occultism. A long-forgotten formula for evoking incredible things, beings, and monsters into physical appearance. Editor Simon overcame huge obstacles during his daring efforts to bring a light to this, the most potent and potentially the most dangerous black book known to the Western world. That's black magic, of course. And then you'll see, like, in the actual contents of the book, we have all these sort of basically rituals and for summoning demons and stuff. So we have all. I mean, this is something I find interesting. I'm not a practitioner of the occult. I'm not a magician, but I have always been interested in the idea of language as a magical tool. Sorry, maybe I'm a magician then. I mean, I don't want to summon demons or anything, but I'm interested just in the concept of it. And it's sort of, I mean, the superstitious part of me, which isn't a very big part of me, to be honest, does sort of think, fuck, what if I ritualize this this dark magic and put it into a game and technological magic or something? But don't worry about that too much anyway. Further on to that's sort of just to show you that I've got that now, and I can sort of refer to that for references, I suppose. I need to properly read through it. I've only read the first few pages basically. I've not read that much of it. I mean, there's a lot of it. It's quite, even though it's a small book, there's quite a lot of stuff in there. There's these different spells and things. Obviously, it's going to be quite an unusual read, but anyway. So yeah, how's things been progressing? So I sort of had a break over the Christmas and New Year's period, but I've started to get back into it with earnest now. So I'll show you some of the development work, which has mostly been the environment building, really. I'm just carrying on doing that. I need to really flesh out and probably change a lot of the aspects of the story. That's going to be very important, of course, the setting and the story. But most of what I've been doing has been to... So I've started doing a few things yesterday, which I'll show you. So obviously I've developed the outdoor area a lot more, which still needs a lot more work, but I did a lot of work on that yesterday. So I found these like models for hills, which I quite like, and just scattered those around to give more of a sense of place. Created a particle system for clouds, and obviously I'm trying to nail the aesthetic of the area, so it's sort of like a mixture of I don't know, like Soviet era brutalism, magical fantasy and dystopia, and not really cyberpunk, but sort of like post-apocalyptic setting. So I want to try and make the setting as unique as I can. I want to make it my own. I don't want to just reproduce, making a Fallout clone, or and obviously it's way beyond the scope of this project. For the actual delivery of the project, I'm still using Play Canvas, so I think ultimately I'm actually going to host this probably on itch.io or on its own website, probably both, with its own domain. But due to the nature of that, I want to make it a relatively short experience but replayable, so I need to figure out exactly how we're going to achieve that. But like I said, at the minute I'm mostly focusing on the visuals side of things, which my idea is that by defining these visuals and basically do that, then the story will emerge nicely at that, sort of emerge organically. So yeah, basically the work I've done is I've started just building up this outside area, which needs a lot of work still, and I refined the sort of church area that you go into, spawn into. So we've got the animating, the woman's animated now basically, which is good. And yeah, that's good. So we've got that, it's a praying woman who's going to be the person who summons you. She's obviously going to be an important character, because whoever this character is the person, the magician who's summoned you to this world. I'm sort of in two minds as to whether the player is going to be playing a sort of good character, an evil character, or something in the middle, like quite chaotic neutral or whatever. I don't think I want to go for a fully evil character. I want the character to have a sort of level of maybe even distance from proceedings, so maybe more like chaotic neutral, I suppose, in terms of alignment. So in terms of the actual church, I've not really done a great deal more. I've just sort of tidied up. I've added the actual Necronomicon text on the side. I mean, given the nature of the actual book itself, it's probably going to be the case that I'm going to select, if I can find a demonic entity in there that the player could represent, I suppose, if that makes sense. So that's probably where I'll go with that. Like, you'll probably be playing sort of a demon, and this cultist or occultist has summoned you for a specific task. So obviously there's no, and one of the major things coming up I need to work on is, of course, this is going to be mostly a dialogue-based game. I don't really think I'm going to make it much of an action game. It's going to be cerebral. It's basically an interactive fiction in 3D is the idea. So it's not about shooting people, it's not about killing people, it's about using your wits and making intelligent decisions. But obviously for that I need to create a dialogue system. That's going to be one of the main scripting challenges. There's not much programming going on at the minute. I've got one script basically, apart from the first person controller, for rotating the sort of sun object I've got in the Lancing. That's it. But yeah, that's sort of a vague, not vague, but a fairly in-depth update on Nexus Necronomicon. I'm going to work on it again for probably another 4 or 5 hours. I'm going to try and do a longer haul this time. I think I did about 3 hours yesterday, which is not bad, but I'm going to put a bit more time in, because I've got time at the minute to do it until I start a new contract to do AR work. So yeah, that's that. So leave any comments you have below if you think it looks interesting, or just any comments you might have on how it looks so far, or any ideas, yada yada. I've been all nerd. Like and subscribe. Could do more views really. I don't know what's happening at the minute. My channel's like bombing, but I guess because I've not been active recently. Not much. Because I've been working, man. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. Alright, bye.